Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our journey to the 250,000 subscriber number. So if you like what you see, you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button and share with a friend. Alrighty. I'm sure each and every one of you heard about Trump's deranged comments and the deranged speeches that are taking place on a daily basis. I want you to think for a second if Arnold Palmer, as an example, was your father or your relative, and they want to be president of the United States, despite the fact that Arnold Palmer is deceased almost a decade, one of the greatest golfers of all time. He decides that he wants to start talking about his penis at a rally. Now, you can't make this stuff up. This is true. The comment is not just inappropriate for locker room talk, it's inappropriate for a presidential rally, which is exactly what was going on. And I'm not making this up. Play the clip.
This guy, this is a guy that was all man. This man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, "Oh my God, that's unbelievable." I had to say it.
Well, oh my God, look at the size of his putter. I mean, what the fuck is this idiot talking about? And people are excusing it. They're laughing at it. It's appalling. It's appalling. You know who also will tell you it's appalling? Arnold Palmer's daughter. She wasn't going to just sit back and say nothing. And here's what she had to say about it. Arnold Palmer's daughter, Peg Palmer Weirs, reacted to former President Donald Trump's vulgar comments about her late father, calling them, quote, disrespectful, inappropriate, and unacceptable. See, I would turn around and use different words like fucked up. Being at the airport, which is named for my dad, where he flew out to go to work every day of every week, to come there and talk about hackneyed anecdotes from the locker room seem disrespectful and inappropriate to me. All right, it's not just inappropriate, it's not just disrespectful. Like I said, it's fucked up. And this is what you want from somebody who's asking you to vote for them for the highest office in the land? Oh, I had to say it. I had to say, why? Why? Because it came into his head? Now I want to turn for a second to his appearances in North Carolina yesterday. Equally fucked up and crazy. Equally. It's so hard to understand what he's doing or what he's trying to say. I can't believe, personally, it's the same guy that I knew for a decade and a half. So I want to show you what he said in Concord, North Carolina. First, he spoke about appointing rock-solid judges. And this, of course, is personal to me because yesterday, his rock-solid judges at the Supreme Court of the United States refused to hear my writ of certiorari on an unconstitutional remand. Imagine you're walking in the street and a bunch of guys just come in, they grab you, they throw you into a van, and the next thing you know, you're in fucking Guantanamo Bay. Okay, let me change the story. I'm at 500 Pearl Street, and instead of it being a van, I was lured down there. Three marshals, bigger than the fucking door, end up handcuffing and shackling me because I refused to waive my First Amendment constitutional right and not publish a book that was already at the printer. That was my first book called Disloyal. That's the danger of Donald Trump. And that's the danger that each and every one of you will ultimately see if, God forbid, he ends up winning. All right? So he speaks about appointing these rock-solid judges. This is, again, a danger to each and every one of us. Play the clip.
I will once again appoint rock-solid pro-constitutional judges to faithfully interpret the law and the Constitution. The 300 judges that we appointed changed the whole. I mean, it was so bad. It was so bad what was happening out there. And these are great people.
Yeah. Again, how any woman in her right mind, how the husband of any married couple, right, could vote for this man. There's a guy who's taking credit. Oh my God, I appointed the 3 judges that helped to overturn the Supreme Court decision on Roe versus Wade via the Dobbs decision, etc. Oh my God, I'm so proud of myself. What a great day for America. And then, because he's now at a Christian outreach event, what does he do? He brings up Christmas. Play this clip.
And we will proudly say Merry Christmas again.
Okay. Who doesn't say Merry Christmas? I mean, seriously? What is he even talking about? This notion that you can't say Merry Christmas? Again, the guy has no idea, but he's playing to his audience, which is truthfully, is one of his superpowers. Now, I want to take you for a second and show you what occurred at a presser event that he had in Greenville, North Carolina, where he continues with his religious rhetoric and says that God himself should come down from the heavens and should count the votes in California. Again, who knows what he's talking about? Play that clip.
I will protect our borders. You know, you've had politicians that didn't do it. They were either stupid, maybe dishonest, could have been dishonest. Hard to believe they would be dishonest, isn't it? When you see guys like Adam Shifty Schiff, he would never take anything. Can you believe this guy's probably going to be a senator? I can't even believe it. I'll tell you what, I was in California. We have some of the biggest crowds you've ever seen. I was in California. I'd love to have God to come down and be the vote counter just for one day and see how well we're doing, California. They send millions and millions of ballots out. They don't know what the hell's happening. And no matter what happens, they say, well, California is not available. I have a rally. I have 100,000 people. They have a rally. They have 200 people. And they say they're going to win. They're not going to win. No. Did you ever hear the...
Again, this goes beyond delusional. This is beyond just bullshitting to a crowd of people. It goes beyond delusional. It's seriously fucked up. It's a form of dementia. I mean, I don't know whether he's actually believing his own bullshit, which would make him, worse than just being demented. This is out of control. Ridiculous. Gaslighting once again. The notion that a wannabe president of the United States would make you want to believe that our democratic process, the entire electoral process, is and should be scrutinized as being corrupt. Amazing. Oh, they're sending out millions of ballots. Nobody even knows. Trust me, they know exactly who's got the ballots. And there's the same process that's used today that he used in 2016 when he ended up winning the presidency. The fact that he lost means that there has to be something wrong. The only thing that's wrong exists inside of his head. But then Trump goes on and he threatens that we're in an occupied country. Look, I walk the streets in New York to go get myself some lunch, to walk the park, wherever, to go meet some friends or what have you. I don't feel like I'm living in an occupied country. Play this clip.
The United States is now an occupied country, but on November 5th, 2024, we will be a liberated country. We will be liberated like never before. It will be Liberation Day.
All right. When does somebody seriously put on the straitjacket and lead Uncle Crazy away from the table and take away his car keys? I want to ask each and every one of you, serious, do you feel like you're in an occupied country? Do you really need Donald Trump to liberate you? What is he even talking about? And yet you have these idiots there in the audience applauding, waving their placards as if Donald just actually said something that is, one, true, two, right, even remotely possible, or three, something that you cheer over. A crazy man standing in front of you lying, and you're cheering for this. Serious. Then he turns around and he says that Kamala Harris can't put two sentences together. Play this clip.
Something is clearly wrong with her. She can't put two sentences together.
Really? Really? Do you know what he's talking about? He's talking about himself. It's called projection. He then goes on to say that she's a cognitive mess, something that we all have been saying about Trump, right? Now, when he wanted to attack Joe Biden, sure, Democrats, Republicans, Independents were concerned. They were concerned. Meanwhile, Joe Biden's still running the country, still doing a good job, but people were concerned. People are similarly concerned about Trump's cognitive and mental decline. So what does he do? He projects. Play that clip.
She's a mess. She's a cognitive mess, and nobody wants to talk about it.
Right. At the age of 59, she's the cognitive mess. And him talking about Arnold Palmer's penis, talking about migrants eating cats and dogs. He's talking about America being an occupied country. You're right. You're right, Donald. Whatever you say there, big guy. All right. Now, come on. We're going to take you back to your padded cell now, and we're going to give you a little pudding, right? A little chocolate, a vanilla pudding. Which one would you like today, Donald? Right? He goes on, and he doesn't like the fact that 60 Minutes, that he ended up not doing it. He was concerned because they were going to fact check him. So what does he do? He's trying to send a message to them. He threatens them because by threatening CBS, he thinks that it's going to change the way that, say, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, CNN, or any of the other stations, including Fox, cover him. Play this clip.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy what they do and the level of meanness, the way they write about people, and the way they protect? How about 60 Minutes? The way they protected Kamala. She gave an answer. Think of it. 60 Minutes, CBS, and they ought to lose their license and they ought to take it off the air. It's the biggest.
Can someone tell me what they're applauding for? Take away CBS's license, a license that they've had for about 100 years? Seriously? 60 Minutes, one of the most renowned shows on television, because they wanted to fact check? And he didn't like the fact that Kamala gave an answer that obviously was not beneficial to him? There's so many things that are wrong. And remember, when Trump says something, he doesn't just say it for CBS. He's sending a message, like a mob boss, to other stations. Now, lastly, he suggests that we go back to 1798. Play this clip, and then you're going to get my reaction.
And to expedite removals of Tren de Aragua and other savage gangs like MS-13, equally violent, I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Think of that. 1798. That's when we had real politicians that said we're not going to play games. We have to go back to 1798 to target and
Okay, let me start by telling you, 1798, there was a law. It was actually one of 4 laws that was used in order to carry out mass deportations. And the basis for it is either that the individuals were here, gave the president the ability to round up these immigrants from countries either that we were currently at war with, like France, or individuals who posed a threat to the country based upon their relationships with their country. And so it's a convoluted law. It's actually the 1798 Act is the only one out of those 4 that still remain. Donald's way past that. In fact, let me show you an article that actually deals with it. The law lets the president detain and deport people from a hostile nation or a government without a hearing when the U.S. is either, like I said before, at war with that foreign country, or the foreign country has perpetrated, attempted, or threatened an invasion or raid legally called a predatory incursion against the United States. No, none of these people are that. Not only are none of these people that, he goes on and he's trying to make it seem that every single immigrant that is here are part of a gang, they're from mental institutions, they're killers, they're everything negative. You know who pulled the same bullshit? Mussolini did this. Hitler did it. Find a group of people and bring the rest of the country to hate them so that you can target them. And who's going to take care of you? Who's going to resolve the problems for you? The problems that these people have caused you, despite the fact you cannot put your finger on what these people have done to you. Chances are you've never even seen a migrant. And if you have, you've seen them by walking or driving past them. Not in Trump's eyes. You gotta create hatred. And that's why I'm going to end this episode as I do all. Make sure you immediately, with 14 days left, you get to vote.org, sign yourself up. Make sure either you get to the ballot or you get a mail-in ballot, and there's only a couple days left for that. And make sure that you vote Harris-Walz 2024, because Donald Trump has no business returning to the White House. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.